Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Catch Up Chaos, and also happy Easter for yesterday. I've got 20 albums to go through, and as always with this, I'm just going to go through them as quickly as I can. We begin with the Ceres and their new album, the Caligulus Serenade. Some really solid sort of death metal stuff. Giving it a B+, I thought it had some really well executed themes, and I liked the overall riff work. Production was quite nice. I do think, maybe it's a bit of a drag of the pacing times, but it's not a major issue. Just really solid shit all around, to be honest. Next is Blood Red Delusion with Ruthless Behaviour. A bit more of a sort of unsettling and creepy vibe to this one. Also metal. Spoilers, there's a lot of it in this episode. Giving it a B. I thought it sold its point really well. It's a very grim album to listen back to. I think the performances have really sold it. I do think it didn't really vary much with the pacing, and the production felt a bit weirdly flat in some cases, but there is some good writing on it as well. And yeah, it just gives you that sort of unsettling, sort of hairs on the back of the neck vibe. Next is Bokassa, I hope I'm saying that correctly, with their album All Out of Dreams. Sort of a stoner-leaning hardcore punk thing, reminding me a little bit of Otherness by Alexisonfire, not with as much nuance. I'm still giving this an A though. I thought it had a lot of really good moments to it, just a lot of really nicely crafted songs with good pacing, really good drive to them, nice production performances as well. Can't really think of many problems I had with it. Maybe, I don't know, it doesn't vary mood that much, but damn, it's a fucking really good album, so fucking listen to it. Next is Borknagar with Fall. Again, no clue if I'm saying that correctly. Fall is a very difficult word to pronounce. Giving it also a B+, some really good Norwegian-leaning heavy metal with a nice sort of symphonic element to it, and some pretty good storytelling. There's actually a kind of brightness to it. It's one of the, happiest sounding albums, I guess, that I'm covering this episode. Just really good riffs, really good guitar work and drum work as well. Solid performance too. Next is Brittany Howard with What Now? Probably the most unique album on this episode. It's more of a sort of soulish psychedelic jazz thing. Giving it a B. I do feel like it could have leaned more into its eclectic side. It didn't really do that, but Brittany's central performance is really good. There's some pretty decent writing, and I think the production is nice and clean as well. I think it could have benefited more if the production were less clean, but I do like what we get out of it. Next is Byron with Chapter 2, The Lotus Covenants. I'm going to assume it's their second album. Giving it a B+. Really liked it. Some more really fucking good metal. Good riffs. I like the guitar work, the production, the performances really nicely. Lyrics maybe a little bit lacking and doesn't have enough songs. I feel like it could have had a couple more, but I do, again, for what we have out of it, I do think we get quite a bit. Next is The Chisel with their new album, I'm guessing, titled What a Fucking Nightmare. Best album title of this year so far, by the way. Giving it an A+. Really solid fucking politically minded pop punk. A lot of passion behind it, a lot of really great performances. Great writing too. Really good pacing. Maybe there's too many songs of it, but even those serve a really good purpose. And yeah, just a lot of energy, a lot of punch, and a lot of drive from the band. Next is Darkest Hour with Perpetual/Terminal, their first album in 7 years. I think it's my first Darkest Hour album. They're a band I'd heard about before. Giving this one also an A+. Really fucking great metalcore. Love the instrumentation, amazing guitar solos, really good drumming, performances are great. I love that there's a lot of variation to the pacing, but it sticks to a core thing. Just pretty goddamn amazing all around. Production-wise, fantastic. Performance-wise, fantastic. I can't really think of many things I didn't like about the album. Just really fucking good. Next is Dark Space with Dark Space Negative 2. This is a unique one because it's a one-song album, but it's over 47 minutes. I'm giving it a B just because it's a very unique and weird idea. It actually does change things around, actually tries to tell a story more with its atmosphere. It's a very unique and ambitious project, and it's well performed and pretty well produced too. I just wish I could have understood what was going on half the time because it was a bit smart for my slow, dumb brain. But, for the most part, it kind of worked. Next is Dissimulator with Lower Form Resistance, a really good bit of thrash metal. Not much in terms of lyrics, but in terms of just really good thrash with the signature thrashy, punky sort of riffs and really good pacing as well for what it is. I can recommend it. Really good performances as well, and a really nice chunk on the production, which I quite enjoyed. Next is Eternal Storm with A Giant Bound to Fall, giving this one a B. More really good metal, I'm giving the Simulators one a B as well, just in case I didn't already. Yeah, more really good metal though. Solid pacing as well. Really like that they attempted to tell a story within the instrumentation. Good atmosphere too. Maybe a little bit lacking in the lyrical department, but there is some good writing to it, and I do like the performances as well. Next is Far Beyond with The End of My Road. More metal, I know, we're getting through it. This is a more conceptualized album. I like that there's sort of an attempt at something much like Scale's album. It's a bit like a nomadic sort of thing. It doesn't really quite hit those heights and doesn't really vary its pacing as much, but really nicely condensed story for what it is. Really good guitar work, really good instrumentation all in all, solid performances, and really good writing and production too. Next is Fivio Foreign. I have no clue if I'm saying that right, with Pain and Love 2. This is my second album by him. Giving this one a B minus. It's some pretty solid rap from him. You know, it's one of his more mature takes. It's also not a very long album. There's not really a whole lot that happens. But it's produced nicely, and the central performance is pretty good too. I like the guest spots. And I do think there's a much better sense of the writing this time around. It is a bit lighter than his last work as well, and I like that that's the lead that he's going with. Next is Grey State with Under the Wheels of Progress. This is a sort of hardcore punk metalcore sort of thing. A little bit of a lean political vibe. Giving it an A minus. Really liked a lot of the work around it. Good performances, pretty solid pacing as well. I do think it could have pushed those boundaries a bit more, but it does restrain itself, which is nice. And all in all, yeah, just really good work all around. I like the production, and I like how throwback it feels in some areas. It does have that vibe to it, which I quite enjoyed. Next is Haystack with Doomsday Goes Away. A good bit of like noise-leaning indie punk. Giving this one a B minus. I do feel like it doesn't really vary a lot with its pacing, but if you just want good riff focus with some pretty decent writing, this will fill that gap, and it's even got some really good performance value too. I do think the production's weirdly a bit too clean for this style, but for what it is, it does work just enough. Next is Holder with her new album Versus an Oath. I did check this is actually a one-woman black metal project with some really nice proggy elements, giving it a B+. Really enjoyed the focus on the heavy side of black metal, and really liked that there was some good pacing. And the performance was really good too, and decent production as well. Yeah, just a really good thing, and a very unique idea too. Next is IDK How with Gloom Division. Giving this one a B minus. I do think it's some really well put together emo pop. It does have a lot of style to it and some really good production and a good performance from Dallin Weeks. It does lack a bit of substance and even, you know, I was going to say a little bit of personality, but no, it's got more personality, but it doesn't have a lot underneath it. But it's fun for what it is. Next is Jay Mascis with What Do We Do Now? Jake Mascis, obviously the lead vocalist for Dinosaur Jr., the last band I ever covered for Backtracking, if memory serves. Yeah, B+, really good indie-leaning dad rock, and just nice contemplative stuff, just something to put on and vibe to if you just want to if you just want that feeling. Just really nice stuff from Jay Mascis, honestly. Really good performance, nice guitar, just simple, relatively short, quite sweet. Next is Keris with Homo Homini Lupus. Giving it a B+, some straight up proper good black and death metal with a really sort of creepy religious vibe to it, which I think really serves the lyrical theme. Really good writing in some places, good performances as well. Doesn't vary a whole lot with the pacing, but also, like much like with Holder's album, just a good focus on the heavy sound, straightforward and to the point. And finally, Null with As Spoken, a solid bit of grindcore leaning sort of death metal stuff. That does more with grindcore than you would think, because, you know, he's so used to it being quite short. I'm giving it a B minus. Yeah, B minus is a low grade in the episode, by the way, so it was a good previous couple of months for music. Yeah, enjoyable, I would say. Good grind stuff, really nicely to the point. Good themes, some good production. Doesn't vary much in terms of what it is, but it is one of those albums where it doesn't really need to do that. And that'll about do it. If I had to pick my top 3 albums from this video, it'd probably be... at the top would probably be Darkest Hour's new one. I'd also include The Chisel and Bokassa, and also I'd recommend giving Grey States one a listen. Just give all of these a spin at least once, because we've had some really good shit so far this year, and that's all I can really think of. Next thing you'll see me for, well, technically be tomorrow night, because I'm putting the show parts up from Friday's PBW vs AVW stream. Next time you actually see me, though, will be on Thursday for an episode of Music of the Week. So, yeah, I'll see you all for those things. Sorry for my hair. As always, thank you for watching. You're awesome. Bye bye.